You started your testimony with commending the current government on a promise, and the promise was 1,000 border agents, and you said that that was a strong start. Given that, what would your vision be then for how soon that obligation could be fulfilled?
Thank you for the question. Right now, I do not believe it can really be fulfilled. We have one training center that can train under 600 new officers per year, which is about what our attrition is per year. So there's no way you get 1,000 additional from that. My understanding is that there's a $20 million proposal with the CBSA to expand the training facility in Chilliwack. My understanding is also that that is on hold. It has not been approved. I've heard talks of expansions at Rigaud. I know there was ideas of spots that were available in Windsor as well, but so far we're just stuck with that one training center, so I don't know how we're going to get our numbers up right now. I think the CBSA is looking at perhaps not hiring 1,000 additional full border services officers, but hiring lesser positions, downloading duties onto newly created FB1 positions that they are deeming administrative, we are very concerned to actually do the work of a border services officer. We have the CBSA now is undergoing a review of accommodated officers who cannot be armed, where they're essentially telling them that you are going to self-demote or we're going to show you the door. These are in many instances people who've injured themselves on the job. That's how our employer is treating them right now. It's deplorable, but it looks really like just a cost-saving measure. So we're really concerned when we hear 1,000. We want to make sure that that's 1,000 actual border services officers.
Mr. Weber, good morning. Although I would be inclined to agree with you that we need an agent at the front line, there's also an implication here I find a bit challenging that technology implies better detection, implies more work for our agent, and maybe work that is better attributed. What would you say about this comment?
Difficult. Again, technology is absolutely useful as long as the technology is there to assist the officer doing the work. When you get to the point where the technology is just replacing the officer, where you're relying on people to self-declare to the technology, you're not going to find anything. You gather intelligence through interviews, you gather intelligence through searches. We're not doing that anymore. We're relying on people to come in and self-declare. So it's the help of the technology aspect that's missing. It shouldn't be replacing the human element. No machine is going to detain someone, arrest someone, really find anything. You need the person there to do that.
Is it realistic to think that we can filter everybody that comes at an airport with an individual questionnaire? And should we not rely instead of information ahead and that allow better intelligence that allows to detect us criminal activity?
Yeah, so the information that's provided ahead is exactly the declaration form that was completed when you landed previously at an airport. Previously, every person would present that declaration form to an officer who would look it over, ask one or two questions for the most part, and on you went, or you went for a search. Now everyone self-declares to a machine. The machine spits out a card. Of course, no one is ever going to self-declare that they're bringing in something that they shouldn't, and out the door you go.
How could CBSA do to you elaborate on the lack of confidence that with the CBSA? What do we need to do to build that confidence back into a CBSA agent?
I think you need to start properly staffing with the officers who do the work. Right now, we are absolutely drowning in middle management. We have ports of entry who have more managers than officers. Managers don't process travelers. That's extremely common at the CBSA. The other thing is that we're not an organization who promote from within. You look at other law enforcement agencies, the people in positions to make decisions have all come from the line. They've worked as officers, they know the workplaces, they know the job. CBSA is unique in that they do not do that. We parachute people in from outside. So the people who are in a position to decide how the border is going to operate have never worked at a border. So in terms of confidence from our membership, from the officers as to how the border is operating is close to zero. You often have to explain to upper management how borders work as though you're explaining it to someone who's never traveled in an airport, who doesn't know how a land border works. It is, I'm trying to use my words carefully. It is, it's really shocking at times, and these are the people who are deciding how our border works.